Hello, everybody, and welcome to Crossroads Sports presents The Crossover. I'm your host, Brandon Reef, Jonathan Birdsong, joining me once again. JB, how are you?
Doing just fine. Happy New Year, everybody. First, first,
Yeah,
first show of the new year.
happy New Year indeed. First show of 2020. Give us a second here while we share onto the different feeds and get those going. Yeah, John, it's been a while. We kind of did a tentative show. We were supposed to have some shows, but some schedules and sickness kind of hit the team. So
Real life,
uh,
real
re-
life stuff. Grown up
real
stuff.
life stuff. Yeah, exactly. As you can see, we're both Ball State alums. Jonathan, if I can hide the thing real quick, got his Ball State Cardinal shirt on. So
Winning
propping
track.
the Cardinals. And then we didn't even talk about it, but I mean, I've got my Ball State Cardinals on as well. So chirp, chirp
It's a
to the
coincidence.
cards.
Hey man, we need to make this an alumni show. We need to get some more alumni on here. Anyway, actually, because truth be told, uh, how our benefactor, well, I won't say our benefactor, but our media buddies at the Recorder, Oshia Boyd, editor in chief, is actually a Ball State University alum as well.
Okay.
But we know a whole bunch of other alumni, sports people that we need to probably reach out to. I think that's what we're gonna start doing. Well, I think it's a vision point. How about that? That
There we go.
we get some. Hey, Alabama got Paul Feinbaum. Ball State University can have Brandon Reef and Jonathan Birdsong, or Jonathan Birdsong, Brandon Reef, however you want to slice it.
David Letterman.
He's retired.
Hey, we'll get some of these guys. I mean, we had Peyton Stovall,
We
so
did have Peyton on there. Yeah, we did last year. We
we're
had to
gonna
get
get
him back on.
we're
Yep,
gonna get Skip.
that's cool. I'm with that.
So Skip's been working out with the Pacers. So shout out to him. He knows the whole Oladipo situation. All right, John, let's get started tonight's show. We're up against the Indiana Hoosiers, them and Tennessee squaring off right now, getting ready to kick off. But college football, John, let's hit the biggest thing off, and that was the college football playoff this past weekend. LSU and Oklahoma, LSU just domination as expected over Oklahoma. The Big 12 frauds, as you like to call them.
Man, was it? Did they really need to be at the game? Was that a bye? That was like a bye, man. Brandon, that wasn't even game. You know, Oklahoma. The anybody who watches Big 12, you know what I'm saying, regular season, they know that their defense is like Swiss cheese. Everybody's defense. You might have the highest rated defense, and Oklahoma did, right? In the Big 12. But you might have the high, but like defense is like a foregone conclusion when it comes to Big 12 football play. And that's why you always see, you know, those big scores, 37, 44, or sometimes even 60-point games with Baylor and Kansas State and Texas and Oklahoma. But Oklahoma, LSU is not a team that you can't get down on, or that obviously you can't. If you get down, two scores, you're gonna lose the game. You know, and like it wasn't even that. It was just the fact that they went out and dominated the Sooners. And it's not that the Sooners don't have just as many pros as LSU does. They do. I think that's kind of people how I don't necessarily gauge that. You know what I mean? How you validate talent, but there's talent on both sides of the field in that particular game. And LSU just went out, and it made, you know what, Brandon? Who was Joe Burrow last year? Who was he? Right? Who was he?
Yeah.
Now, he's catapulted to the point where they're saying Chase Young's gonna go second or third, and I'm like, whoa, wow. And
Come on now.
I like Joe Burrow, man. But he's not. I mean, and that's a whole nother conversation.
Chase who?
I think the guy from Ohio State. You know what I'm talking about.
Did he play this past weekend?
Well, they had a little tough. They had a tough game too. That's a good segue. They had a tough game too. They had a tall order in Clemson.
I'm gonna say he.
Well, I'm talking about like next level, like who's going to have the greater impact. I think Joe Burrow is going to be a very capable quarterback on the next level. I really do. I see Patty Mahomes type of talent, Lamar Jackson type of talent? No. But do you see somebody who, you know what I'm saying, after a year or two, or even after half a year, can go out there and run a team for you? Sure. But again, before we get all to that, you know what I'm saying, the NFL draft type. But yeah, man, Clemson, Ohio State, even a remarkable game, because I think everybody here in the Midwest, right, took Ohio State except for me, because again, man, I don't put nothing past Clemson. I think Clemson kind of just plays up to his level of competition. Why should they have to blow out teams? And they did. Why should they have to blow out teams every every game in ACC play? What is the conditions? What is the terms and conditions of going to the championship game? Win your league, right? And hopefully you schedule not a patty cake schedule. And I don't think Clemson. I can't off the top of my head. I don't think they scheduled a patty cake schedule. You know what I'm saying in their pre-conference. Not as patty cake as Alabama or anybody else.
Right.
You know.
I'm
just saying. Sorry, Bama. but no, man. Clemson went out. I mean, Ohio State played a very good first half.
They did.
And as I told you, man, Justin Fields is the future. Like all these Colts fans around here, I know I'm galloping around different topics here. All these Colts fans around here trying to get rid of Jacoby Brissett. I'm like, wait. We might want to hold on to Jacoby for like one more year because the cream of the crop quarterbacks is coming out next year in 2021 with Trevor Lawrence and Justin Fields potentially because those guys are still got some eligibility. But come on, if Trevor Lawrence wins, if they beat LSU, there's no way he's going to sit another year. I mean, he'll sit another year, but there's no way he finishes his senior year at Clemson. And Justin Fields, like I said, man, I think the NFL. I know I'm galley hoping over different topics here. I think the NFL is looking for another Lamar Jackson, and he might be it.
All right, so let's go before we put the cart in front of the horse, as they say.
All right.
The LSU Oklahoma real quick. My thought, because I didn't really get to mine. Obviously, LSU was the most superior team. Offense, defense, special teams. We knew that going in. We knew Oklahoma was a de facto number 4 seed based off of Utah losing in the Pac-12 championship. I don't think Utah, I don't think Baylor, I don't think either one of those teams could have given LSU a game. LSU is just far and superior. Better. They had the better game plan. The second game was a great one to watch. It was back and forth. Fantastic. Trevor Lawrence, he still is yet to lose a college football game. And that's saying something there. I had a feeling they were going to drive and make some kind of score. But I told my Lindsay, I said, I feel like they scored too quick because this is giving Ohio State another chance to get down the field. And you know how they can get down the field real quick with that power, that offense. And I the one bad pass to the end zone. Now, was there some controversial plays people talk about with an interception for a pick six? Possibly. I don't know, John. Slowing it down and watching it real time, it's two different things. You can't do that as an official.
Right.
There was a couple of host calls here or there, but that I just chalk that up to that's football or that's sports. Things are going to get missed.
Correct. Mm-hmm.
There was one last night in the Baylor game, too, where it's obvious pass interference on Georgia. He was ripping at the dude's jersey, and they called it incomplete. So, but yeah, it's Clemson beating Ohio State. I thought Ohio State was the better team. Clemson played the better game.
Yeah, because
I'll leave it at that.
They adjusted in the second.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're looking now January 13th, which is still another week and however many days away, which is crazy. LSU and Clemson, national championship down in New Orleans in the Bayou. They like to call it down there.
A lot of dominoes.
John, I don't want to put your pick for this game yet. We'll do that next week's show before the game.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm excited. This could be it's a good one. I'll tell you this. The spread has already went up to LSU -5.5. I grabbed LSU at -3 when the line first opened up after the game Saturday night. I went on and picked it up, thank God, because it moved quick. So that kind of leans a little bit towards where I'm going with my pick here.
Mm-hmm.
But I still expect a great game in about 10 days from now. And
right. Absolutely.
It's going to be a good one.
Cataclysmic. LSU will not be able to blow out Clemson. And Clemson is not going to do their number like they did on Alabama to LSU. And this game is going to be high stakes. It's going to be every pass counts. It's going to be every down. You're going to be in. I think you're going to feel it right here after it's over. It's going to be a great game.
Yeah, absolutely. Scanning over some of the other 65 bowls that we've had so far, the Crossroads Sports Bowl, that maybe next year.
Maybe.
The only one I would want to talk about, because we got some fans on both sides of this, Alabama, Michigan. Hardball. That was your chance, man. That was your chance Do
That was his
something.
chance. That was his chance. It was a chance from my lens, right, to put some type of redemption on another poor season. Brandon, there has to be some type of there has to be some disappoint. I built it up for him, right, to make it look good. I mean, somebody else probably spinning it for him, right? They're not gonna fire Jim Harbaugh. They're not.
No.
Right? He did put some dubs in the column, but dubs beating Maryland and beating Nebraska is not like beating Alabama and Ohio State. It's not. We expect you to beat Michigan State. We expect you to beat Michigan State. Okay, that's what they feel. Every now and then they'll have a great Michigan State team that challenges, but they expect them to beat Michigan State. This has to be a huge disappointment. Brandon, you know what's wrong? Talent for talent, I think he has just as much. I think he had just as much talent as Alabama did this year. Take away Tua, obviously, with Tua out of the game.
Right.
Jim Harbaugh can't coach quarterbacks. What's going on? I thought he was the quarterback guru. I'm not. I mean, I did. I thought he was quarterback. He had Andrew Luck at Stanford, right? I can't remember what he had, prior to in San Diego State. That was one stop prior to, right? I can't remember what he had there, but I know he had 4 years of Andrew Luck, right? And we had Alex Smith, highly rated, coming out of college, and we had this the pre Lamar Jackson and Colin Kaepernick. So that's what kind of quarterbacks that he was the talent level he was dealing with,
right?
But like, what's the quarterback plays? What kind of lost in the game yesterday?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, there were some bad interceptions by Shea Patterson. Just not even close. And I honestly thought Michigan was going to win the game. I picked Michigan to win the game or at least cover the spread, because Alabama was. Who cares? Alabama doesn't care about that game.
Yeah, Alabama has a losing record in bowls that they don't care about, and that was one of the bowls they don't care about. But that, that's bad. Like, he has to be hot seatish. He has to put himself on the hot seat next year. He has to. And I don't know. It's going to be hard. He has a top 10 recruiting class coming in, but so does Ohio State. And they got everybody coming back. So again, he'll be in the same dilemma, I feel.
John, what was your thoughts on the Rose Bowl last night? Oregon and Wisconsin.
Disappointed Oregon. Got a little bit more belief in what's Aber. Is that how you pronounce his name? Last name? Quarterback from Oregon.
Hubert.
It's Herbert. I thought it was like French.
No, it's Herbert. He's from the Pacific Northwest.
Okay.
He's not French.
Well, but no, man, I have a little bit more belief in him next level now, seeing what he can do.
He still made bad passes.
Yeah.
But a lot of bad passes.
Well, that's the reason why I don't think he's coming out this year. But he might. You never know. He might, because like next year he's definitely going to be behind everybody else. But Wisconsin, again, let me down. Rose Bowl was theirs for you. Well, they've been undefeated in most Rose Bowls like the last six times that they've been there. But that's the Oregon team that they should have. I felt beat by double digits, 13 points. They kept it close with them. I couldn't believe it.
I thought Wisconsin, the way they played their game, they should have. I think that Wisconsin should have won by 20, except for their 4 turnovers. Wisconsin, Oregon, besides the rushing touchdowns, which Justin Herbert, not really known as a runner, so they did that in their game plan. Paul Crisp, I think they had a great job. I thought they were going to do it. Herbert is a senior. Sorry, Mr. Craig Ryan.
So he got to come out, period.
Yeah, he's got to leave. So he played 4 years out there in Oregon. So he's actually from Eugene too. But I felt Wisconsin played the better game. I even put on Twitter, Wisconsin deserved to win that game. They played the better game. Oregon just got lucky and made plays when they needed to. Was there a pass interference towards the end there? Was that really offensive pass interference? I don't know. You can go both ways on it.
Do they need NFL refs? They need to get NFL refs.
No, but I will tell you this: the 2 worst sets of officials I've seen, Big 12 officiating and SEC officiating, are the worst in college football. I've watched all these bowl games, John. I've had a lot of time off.
Right.
SEC and Big 12, it's night and day what the Big 10 and surprisingly the Pac-12 officials. It's surprising how much better those two conferences officials are than and even the ACC is not bad.
Okay.
I'd probably put the ACC over Pac-12, but SEC and Big 12 officiating is just terrible.
It's bad.
SEC, Big 12 doesn't call holding ever because why? Look at the scores, 70-70.
Right.
You know,
Right.
So, I thought it was a great game. I thought Wisconsin played the better game to win. Oregon just made some key plays and came out back. But it was a great Rose Bowl game. You know, nothing better than the fourth quarter. The sun setting in Pasadena. You got it over the mountains. The sun reflect off the mountains. Nothing better.
Always beautiful. It's always beautiful. Always.
And especially with the sky was reflecting off the Oregon helmets. Ooh, that's God's country there, John. God's country.
Wisconsin failed us next year. Better luck next year.
They did. I know you'll have something to say because you like the comparisons of the Big Ten and the SEC. We just talked about the two with Bama and Michigan. How about Minnesota knocking off Auburn in the Outback Bowl?
Hey, you know what? My dude's got him believing up there in Minnesota. I don't think that's his last.
Row that boat.
I don't think that's his last destination.
No.
I don't think that's his last destination. I know there might be a couple boosters down West Lafayette kicking themselves in the rear end. Because they didn't go get him from when he was at Central Michigan. I know that for sure. But you know, Auburn and Georgia are the beatable SEC teams, right? They are the beatable teams. They're always the ones. They got the most damn talent, but for whatever reason, the coach can't get them over the hump, or the players make mistakes during the game. But you kind of gotta like the Gophers, man, and this historical kind of historical, I call it historical ride for them. They should have lost that. They should have lost that game to Iowa. There's no shame in losing to this Ohio State team.
Called it
this year, right? There is no shame. There shouldn't have been, but they lost to Iowa, and that kind of took them out of the national talk. You know what I mean?
They should have lost to Penn State. You're at home,
right? So. But this is definitely a building block for Minnesota. You'll want to see what they can do if they can build upon this like next year. And hats off to them because they played a real close game with Auburn, real close.
Yep. Let's jump shifts to the NFL. The season's finally over. Indianapolis Colts. If this was a radio show, I'd play the hymn of the deathbed and funeral march. But the Colts season's over.
Hey man, listen. Colts fans, I'm about to get a little indignant with my speech here, man. Colts fans losing their marbles, man, and not even just thinking like what kind of talent is out here before you start, saying jettisoning quarterbacks that we just signed 2-year agreements with. Okay, now if you want to jettison Hoyer, I'm all game for that. You know what I mean? But that's probably like another $11 million that the Colts got to eat off their payroll or whatever, man. Should the Colts invest in a quarterback out of this particular draft? Sure. Should that particular quarterback come out of the first round? With the Colts picking at where the Colts picking at 12? 16? The 16th best the 16th rated talent in this particular draft it's not a quarterback. It's not a quarterback. Unfortunately, our general manager is not known necessarily for picking like wideouts or tight ends at that particular that kind of high. So he might trade down. It's possible, which is going to turn people's nose up incredible. You know what I mean? People are, oh my God, you know what I mean? But I don't really see a quarterback. If he does, Brandon, it'll be because of pressure from media and fans. It won't be his pick. Because the team needs a pass rusher. I'm over it. I used to say this, but yeah, the team needs a pass rusher, and they need to fix that's a free agency thing. They need to fix the special teams.
They need a playmaker, wide receiver playmaker. I'm sorry, T.Y. Hilton.
They're not going to pick a playmaker at pick 12.
Pick 16.
Damn, 16. Well, you have to trade up.
Well, they could trade up, but I mean, I like the marks of Judy from Alabama. I think he could be a playmaker. For Indianapolis. I mean, I don't think he's going to get outside the top 10 though. For his draft, there was another wide receiver I was thinking. I don't know why
Bama's got two. I don't have the names in front of me right now. I got a bunch of basketball.
One mock draft had them taking Ruggs from Alabama, but I think Ruggs is more of like a split back. He's more of like a running back type.
Okay.
So I'm not a fan of the Ruggs situation. One mock draft had the guy that me and you saw earlier this year, Rager from TCU. A lot of mock drafts, they've fallen out. He's fallen to the second round. So I don't see Rager
What
going
somebody
that far.
lose their mind at is that from Georgia declares, and he's there at pick 16. People are going to lose their mind. And Fromm does not have arm strength.
Yes, thank you, Craig Ryan. CeeDee Lamb. That's another one, John, who I think that'd be a great playmaker for the Colts at wide receiver.
They going to get him at 16?
You can't put your marbles all in T.Y. Hilton. I'm sorry. I know. You've been on the T.Y. Hilton hate train all season long.
Not a hate train.
Funchess got hurt. They need to get a whole new training and injury staff because the Colts had so many injuries this year.
Right.
I laid in bed this morning. I was listening to Greg Ballard, former mayor of Indianapolis, Chris Ballard's press conference at the end of the season, and he was just talking with all the reporters for an hour long, answering questions. He said the jury is still, and it's surprising, John, the jury is still out on Jacoby Brissett.
Okay.
Which he took all snaps in the training camp. He took all the snaps, the preseason, and the regular season, and the jury is still out. You don't know what you have with this guy.
I think the Colts know. It's 7. I mean, so what are we talking about? Are we talking about Brandon? Let's talk brass tacks. If we bring in a rookie quarterback, that's like saying you're starting all over.
You don't bring in a rookie.
Man, Phillip Rivers. Nobody wants no part of Phillip Rivers. Nobody wants part of that. That's bad mojo. That's bad mojo, man.
Mojo. John, I'll tell you this. I did put it up on the Facebook page about Phillip Rivers and the Colts. If Colts fans would be willing to take Phillip Rivers for maybe 1 year, 2 years, groom somebody. It was by about 75-25 that no. But if you look on Twitter, John, there are a lot of Colts fans on Twitter that are open to taking in Phillip, the gambler with his 9 kids, bring him to Indianapolis, and give him a shot. But the problem is, where did Indianapolis fall out of this love with Jacoby Brissett? When did he become public enemy?
Why do you think San Diego's so ready to cut the cord with their potential Hall of Fame quarterback? You know what I'm saying? I thought the game plan. I don't know where that Phil Rivers rumor came out of nowhere. I just thought I thought he was auto signed to the Chargers.
If they really want a quarterback to groom or for a couple years as a placement, you know what? Don't ruffle feathers and piss people off getting Phillip Rivers, and you're like, oh, is he just I'm gonna say it quietly. I don't want to. If you're standing up, if you're driving, watching this, which you shouldn't be, I don't want you to wreck or anything, but maybe go get Eli Manning. Bring another Manning back into the household.
There would be no Eli Mannings. There would be none of that. I think they look at a quarterback in the second round. That's what I think. Quarterback in the second round. Yeah. Playmaker, as you suggest, on either side of the ball. Playmaker on either side of the ball. Either.
Are you nervous
about what?
About Anthony Costanzo possibly retiring? Your left tackle.
That is, especially with this offensive line playing how it's played. Yeah,
they all played all 16 games.
That is a little nerve-wracking. Yep.
So, more to see on that. Eric Ebron.
He's probably done.
Ballard said today that he's going to move a different direction. They're going to move a different direction.
Yeah, Ebron had a great connection with Andrew Luck, and once Luck was gone, the connection was gone. So that's weird. You know what I'm saying? Andrew Luck had he had his best stats with Ebron and vice versa.
Okay, so we obviously have a lot more Colts talk to come in the future. Absolutely. A lot. I want to jump ship. John, one of my favorite TV series on ESPN. The commercials, when they come on, you know it by the sound, and you hear, "What if I told you?" You know how it starts always like that, right? Mm-hmm. I love the shows, the series. I love it all. But there may be one more guy that loves 30 for 30s better than I do. And
Who's
that's
that?
Jameis Winston.
Oh wow, he's gonna have
30
a 30
touchdowns,
30,
30 pick,
30.
and John, a walk-off pick 6 to get that 30th pick this on week 17.
Man, they're gonna retain him. I don't know what his price tag. I don't know what his number is, but they're gonna retain him down in Tampa Bay.
Did you hear him in the press conference afterwards?
Did I hear Jameis Winston, or did I hear what the coach said? Yeah,
I heard both. Jameis says, "Just imagine if I didn't throw all those picks, how good I'd be."
Yeah. You'd have the team be in the Super Bowl already.
Yeah, I mean, he'd be great. But yeah, so Jameis, we'll see. Arians, I don't know if he's set yet on him.
Bruce Arians. We can win with any quarterback.
Would you take Jameis up here?
No. Jameis needs.
I think he's better than Brissett.
He needs a special quarterback guru crew to help him focus, and
he's better than Brissett.
As far as like playmaking ability, sure.
Johnny,
but like who wants to live with 33 interceptions?
Or how about 4,000 yards passing? You know, there's one team. Here's a trivia question for you. No. Here's a trivia question for you. There is one team in the NFL that has not had a 4,000 yard passer. One team. Can you name that team?
The Cleveland Browns.
Who?
The Cleveland Browns.
Nope.
Uh-oh.
Their fan base watches our shows a lot.
Their fan base. The Bears?
Yep.
Oh, man.
The Bears have yet to have a 4,000 yard passer. Ever.
Well, they're going to.
Ever.
They ain't going there. They all in on Trubisky. They fired everybody the other day. They fired everybody.
Go get Jameis. Bring him up there. Let him just start airing it
Chicago?
out. Just let him air it out.
Never.
I like Jameis.
Yeah.
Hey, what was that he did? He's sitting there chewing on the W, eating those W's.
Yeah, he won't be playing for the Steelers.
Whoa. We got a quarterback at Pittsburgh. He's coming back next year.
Doug Hodges?
No. Sorry, Doug. It was a one-time thing. Ben Roethlisberger.
Okay, I got you.
John, we had some chaos in the NFL playoff brackets. Patriots losing to the Dolphins. They always seem to lose the Dolphins one game a year, but they lost home field. Now they're a 3 seed.
Man. That is heartbreaking, man. As a Colts fan, I gotta lose I gotta go professional on this one, Brandon. Like, dude, man, why can't the Colts ever catch the Patriots? You know what I'm saying? Sleeping. The Dolphins. That's on. Again, I don't care who wasn't out there. The Dolphins beat the Patriots because they was trying to beat the Patriots, and the Patriots was trying to win because the Patriots are now the 3rd seed.
3 seed.
Wow, that ain't happened in how long?
2010 is what the text I sent you.
So 10 years. They've always usually been the 1st or 2nd seed.
Yeah.
Damn.
They play home against the Titans. Tennessee comes to town. I don't care. All these sports people talking. There is no way on God's green earth the New England Patriots lose to the Tennessee Titans in Foxborough on the first game of the playoffs.
Whew.
Sorry. Does not happen.
I don't foresee it. They're going to get Tennessee's best effort, though. They're going to get Tennessee's best effort, but I don't foresee it. Tennessee's got a better defense than everybody. You know, they haven't been paying attention. And they've had better inspired quarterback play this year, but they beat New England in Foxborough.
The bracket's filled out. I filled out my bracket.
Controversial bracket, man. We had some people said they didn't believe in. I mean, Hoosiers, man. But talking about they didn't believe in Butler. Butler's the deal this year.
Butler deal.
Butler should be a Sweet 6 bucket in January.
Hey, quick, we got 3 minutes. We got 3 minutes now since you're ending this because you didn't charge your stuff. Pacers, Depot coming back probably the end of the month, looking great. But I want to spend this time 2 quick things. First one, I just want your thoughts on Melo return to the Garden, 26 points. Great to see Melo back. He can't lead a team to a win, but he can still score.
Man, it's not even. I mean, right? They said he couldn't play no more. I'm glad he's playing. I'm glad his comeback is going real well as far as from a personal stat wise. That particular Portland team, are they gonna make the playoffs? I don't know. I don't.
Yeah. And the last one, John, I know, let's take some time. We both know him not very well, but he was always in our growing up period. David Stern, man, just his legacy on the NBA, the growth of basketball.
You know what? People automatically assume that I'm against him because he's like the emperor, the evil emperor. Like, nah, man, he made the NBA like competitive and worth watching. Like, so it's not like every game is like an all-star game now. Sorry, saying current NBA, but no, man, he made it. He not just him. He saw what he had. He had, and you know what, Brandon? We can talk a little bit about this because David Stern is that important of a person in American sports. I think.
Mm-hmm.
But no, man, he saw what he had. Not just Larry and Michael and Magic Johnson. Those are great personalities. But man, look at what he did with his so-called secondary stars: Chris Mullin and John Stockton and Karl Malone and Charles Barkley. He took all those teams and put them on, made deals with cable stations and put them on cable so that everybody could see them. And like, when they couldn't have, well, now we got social media and tablets and everything else, but like you had to stay up all night to watch the Mitch Richmond and the Run TMC and Clyde Drexler and the Portland Trailblazers. He helped these type of things that he set forth in motion. Hell, I heard a story today is that he paid like the TV stations down in wherever the hell Manu Ginobili's from, like eight grand.
Argentina.
Yeah, he paid TV stations at $8,000 so they would tape delay the games because when you learn about basketball, you grow up with it. You might want to play it. You get good at it. Boom! Now we have Manu Ginobili. You know what I'm saying? Same thing happened in China. It's like we had, he made the game global. I don't know, man. There's nothing. I know there's some things, but like behind the curtain that people don't like about David Stern, his shrewdness, his business savvy, and like he made Allen Iverson wear a suit. But guess what? People who pay blue collar people, or even people who are born with people who pay money to see entertainment, don't want to see your rear end, or you know what I'm saying? They want to see you be professional. So he kind of. But everybody, here's the thing, man. He cleaned up the NBA, the image, but everybody still had their own individualism. It wasn't like your individual got stolen from you. You still was Allen Iverson with your braids, still Allen Iverson with your chain. You just had to clean it up,
Right.
But again, I know there's some people that.
And he introduced the draft lottery.
Right. Something. Dude, they make capital off an event that you shouldn't really even care about unless it's your team.
Yeah.
It's why some of the things that he helped to bring the NBA into the modern times, and he said, hell, you know me, I didn't want him to retire.
Yeah, I didn't either.
But
best commissioner in all 4 sports ever, my opinion.
Whoo, over Tagley Blue for sure.
So yeah, I thought he was great. Gonna be sorely missed. The guy, he brought so much to the game of basketball, and brought it to the forefront. Built these superstars. Brought franchises, saved franchises from some of the losing.
Right.
Sacramento possibly moving to Seattle. They kept the Kings there. Another thing, he vetoed the CP3 trade to the Lakers, and just
people still
some of those things.
Right. See, I seen the fan piss down their leg today talking about that. I was like, dude, the man just died. You still worried about did Chris Paul go to the Lakers? And hell, they still got a championship out of it. So hell.
By the way, one of my favorite Stern memories is when he went to announce that the Washington Wizards pick at number 3, and they were booing him so loud that he went up to speak it, and he goes, "What? I can't hear you," just to get a little bit more of the booze. What a villain! And I love that about David Stern. It's a sad thing to hear after the hemorrhage that he had. And by the way, I had a source close to me tell me that David Stern had this hemorrhage at his house 4.5 hours before it was actually released to the public. I just didn't say anything on it. Swear to God, Scout's honor.
I got you. That's good.
A buddy of mine knows somebody, and word got out, and I sat on it, and I said, I ain't going to put anything out there on it. But yeah, it's sad. But if anything, Adam Silver, who is our commissioner now, he learned so much under the tutelage of David Stern that this league is set for a very, very long time.
Long time. Long time.
So, absolutely.
All right.
John, any by the way, your boy Freddie Kitchens out. Who
He's
takes
gone.
over in Cleveland?
They're gonna restart over. So be looking for the next college coach. The hell, Baylor's coach already told him no. So
yeah. Any last things, John, before we go?
Everybody should be watching The Mandalorian. Everybody should be watching The Watchmen. Trying to think what else am I watching on TV besides sports. I think that's about it. Watchmen, Mandalorian, those are awesome shows, man. Hope everybody has a happy New Year.
Happy New Year. We'll see you guys next week. We'll have a radio show next week for everybody.
Thanks for watching.
All right.